Beyond Gear 4. Something that I've noticed in the newest One Piece chapter is Monkey D Luffy, who's used Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th, is starting to use Gear 4th in a way in which, honestly, it looks like it's not needed for actual dangerous opponents. When I say this, hear me out, guys. What I'm trying to say is this. Gear 4th is a very, very powerful form, but he used it for the numbers and to one-shot the numbers. We've seen Frankie use a radical beam in the same moment. I'm just telling you guys right now, it raised some eyebrows. I think this might show a hint to Luffy, maybe not mastering Gear 4, but being close to mastering Gear 4, where he's using Gear 4th more often, kind of how like Luffy was using Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd a lot of times before Dressrosa in that final battle with the Flamingo where he brought out the new form. I feel like this could be a hint of there being something beyond a Gear 4th. And I'm not saying Gear 5, Gear 6, Gear 7, I'm just saying there's something beyond Gear 4, a different power, a different ability, maybe another gear, who knows. There's something else that Luffy has, and you're gonna need something else when you're going up against this behemoth of a monster. This man is just eating lasagna like it's nothing. I'm talking about Beast Pirate Captain Kaido. Now, the evolution of Gear 4th, in my opinion, has been very, very interesting, very, very hyped too. From just Rosa, where we see him use Gear 4th, to Whole Cake Island, it's been very, very impressive, and I feel like it's been his go-to when it comes to his opponents. And it makes sense. Look who his opponents were. Doflamingo, Cracker, Katakuri. All three of these characters are very, very powerful in their own right. Doflamingo, who is a Conqueror's Haki user, who also can use Awakening. He's always been a beast of a character. Joker. And then there's, of course, Cracker, who's a top Yonko commander. You have to, if you're a top Yonko commander, you have to give that respect right away. And I feel like Cracker's bounty is very underselling, because in his bounty picture, it's the Cracker, it's one of his soldiers, it's not really Cracker. I feel like if they actually knew how powerful Cracker was, he's able to create multiple characters of that power level. Like, Cracker's insanely underrated, guys. Super underrated. It just shows you. And then there's, of course, Katakuri, the 1 billion berry man. This guy is the vice captain to a Yonko, and we've seen Marcos, Van Beckmans, Kings. Like, these guys are incredibly powerful. So it's the same with Katakuri. He's able to see into the future. He also has Awakening. He also has a very, very powerful armor haki. Katakuri, what more can you ask for this character? He is a beast of a character, and Luffy has used Gear 4th as the go-to for each and one of these opponents. Now, of course, Bounce Man is kind of like Luffy's basic Gear 4th form. It has a combination of offense and defense. I know a lot did say he was using too much hockey in this form, but there's also Tank Man, and we've seen Tank Man versus Cracker was a defensive form. Because let's be honest, against Cracker, that was the first time we saw Bounce Man not really that effective. Yes, it was effective, but not to the point where we actually saw him destroying like he was against Doflamingo. Like we saw King Kong Gun and all that, and just Rosa, the strongest attack we've seen from Luffy. And then there's Snake Man, which we've seen against Katakuri at the end of the battle. And I've always said Katakuri was Luffy to me, has always been the second greatest battle in One Piece. To me personally, that's my personal opinion. And Snake Man, which is an epic moment, speed that Luffy was able to attack in. A guy who can see to the future, you have to be incredibly fast to hit him. And I just loved seeing Hulk Allen bring out a defensive Gear 4th form, an offensive Gear 4th form, with of course the basic Gear 4th form, which is Bounce Man. But Tank Man, Bounce Man, Snake Man, I feel like there's nothing more you can expand on that. I think what Ichiro Oda did with Gear 4th was amazing with the 3 types of Gear 4th, but I feel like he's now capped it. It's been limited. We need something beyond Gear 4th. Honestly, Wano, a lot of people thought this was controversial when Kaido, of course, goes up against Luffy, and Luffy goes Gear 4th and does all his best attacks against Kaido. Of course, he doesn't do King Kong Gun, but he does all his other best attacks with Gear 4th, and pretty much Kaido takes no damage, and he literally doesn't even fight back. He just tanks all the Gear 4th attacks and one-shots Gear 4th Luffy. That is the first time we've seen Gear 4th Luffy one-shotted. Now, hear me out, guys. When we saw Gear 4th Luffy versus Big Mom and Hook Allen, yes, he did one attack, and Big Mom clashed with Gear 4th Luffy, and it was like, let's be honest here, Big Mom, relatively in her basic form, was clashing with Gear 4th Luffy relatively easy. That just shows you how strong these Yonkos are. Like, she was easily going against Gear 4th Luffy, and then if Luffy got out of Gear 4th, whether you want to say it was because of Big Mom or not, I don't really care. Big Mom's still a monster. She fought Kaido throughout the whole night. These guys are insanely powerful. I still want to say this: Kaido punked Gear 4th, and that was the first time time we've seen Gear 4th punked. And you gotta understand, like Law said in Dressrosa, it takes a lot of haki to use Gear 4th. And I feel like he says a lot believes it takes too much haki to use in that form. I feel like what Law's saying, this is also going to lead into Wano, where haki has been the focus when it comes to Luffy expanding his power and his ability. All in all, I feel like Wano getting the Gear 4th punked like that was actually a good thing, because Gear 4th was always the go-to, and now that Gear 4th is pretty much seen as not trash but like not enough, we're gonna see more. And that's all we're talking about in this video, going beyond what we already know, going beyond what you're capable of. This can be even incorporated into your real life, guys. Gear 5th, let's not beat around the bush. Gear 4th, Gear 5th, it makes sense. I honestly thought it was too early for Luffy to use Gear 5th. Like I've always not been a fan of Luffy using Gear 5th in Wano, but thinking about it, Kaido is the strongest creature alive. I wouldn't be surprised, because look at this, back on it. Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd were revealed around the same time, which is Enies Lobby, the same arc, and that was incredible. Like when we saw Gear 2nd and they had a Gear 3rd, like that was super incredible. Then we have Luffy, who pretty much gets the concept of Gear 4th and doesn't master it, but is able to use it during the time skip, and then of course uses it in the moment already has to, which is in Dressrosa, a couple arcs, like that's Punk Hazard, Fishman Island, and then we get to Dressrosa and Luffy, he finally uses his Gear 4th, which he was doing in time skip. That's a lot of time. And then of course we have Zou, we have Whole Cake Island, Reverie, and now we're in Wano. Thinking back on it, I wouldn't be surprised if Luffy brings out a Gear 5th, and of course the 2 weeks in between Prisoner Udon and now the Onigashima moments. I'm telling you guys right now, Gear 5th, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it. And Gear 6, like that is, I thought that would be crazy to say Gear 6, but like I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Gear 5th, because I've always said like Wano, Onigashima, it reminds me of Water 7 Enies Lobby, but seeing 2 new gears, that would be insane. But I'm gonna say Gear 5th, an all incredible Gear 5th, which he uses against Kaido, is what I think is probably gonna happen. I thought it was too early, but now that I'm looking back on the story, it's not too early, guys. It's actually a perfect time to drop this Gear 5th, and once he does, let's be honest here, the fan base is gonna go insane. Now, me as a One Piece fan, I've always been a huge fan of going beyond the gears. And one of the biggest things I've always talked about is Awakening. Seeing Luffy use Awakening for the first time, the concept of a Paramecia, Gomu Gomu no Mi, using the Awakening. We've seen Doflamingo, he's a Paramecia, and he has doing Logia-like things. We've seen a Katakuri, another special Paramecia who's doing Logia-like things. Seeing Luffy, seeing the rubber fruit in like a Logia-like element, honestly, like seeing the Onigashima, parts of that island turning into rubber, and then Luffy using his haki that he's already crazily powered up, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any gears. And actually Oda brings Awakening and Advanced Haki, which is of course his Armor Haki Advanced, which he learned from Hyogoro, the 2 Advanced Armor Haki, which was of course the first one, which is like a shockwave, and the second one is which you can actually break in, like in between like the opponent and himself, getting inside the opponent spiritually. I'm telling you guys right now, plus his future sight, we might see the first time Luffy, his base form is in the final battle. Not the first time, but like in a long time, where his base form is the final battle, and Luffy is literally just goated after that moment against Kaido, this mythical zone, this Draken type form character. I'm telling you guys, Luffy is going to go ham, and as fans of the series, Beyond Gear 4th is something that we are going to be mouth-watering. It's going to be epic. Like I said, guys, Awakening and these new elements of Haki, we might not see no new gears beyond Gear 4th. We might just see a new Luffy, and Luffy might actually overcome the whole gears, and like it might be a thing of the past. That would be crazy. Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on going beyond Gear 4th? I love reading you guys' comments. Please turn on notification, because I'm going to be dropping videos every day now. Like and share if you enjoy. Like and share only if you enjoyed. And subscribe for more One Piece content. I'm the LegendMac, and I'm gone.